Thank you, Carol. And we really appreciate Carol being our MC, as well as she's operating behind the scenes to make sure that our technology goes well as such. So I'm just going to get started now. We are Grand Canyon University's Canyon Professional Development. We are a wing of our K-12 outreach and support. God bless the situation right now. We have almost all of our Alliance members, our Alliance directors online, so you can see them there. We have Dan Egler, Ryan Bredo, Jennifer Johnson, Greg Harmon. I'm sure Peter Mokert will show up here pretty soon, but we are blessed to have all of them available as well. And Carol has allowed us to just go into action mode as we are as we're working with these challenging times. That's who we are, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with this presentation. Our weekly webinar series starts today, and it starts with a topic that is our mission statement, and that is serve, support, inspire. We are blessed to be here alongside of you, walking this path that is uncertain for many of us, and we are excited to be a part of the journey with you. Today's webinar is going to be all about how can we serve, support, and inspire you. With that said, my name is Corey Araza. There's a little bit of detail there about me and what I can bring to you from my expertise. Marty Landry is also co-hosting this webinar, and what she can bring to us as far as her expertise is concerned. And we are happy to learn more and bring more to you in all of our times of need. So with that, let's start with our why and why we do what we do every day. And that is to empower, educate, and inspire our community so that they take action to fulfill their purpose and serve others. And ultimately, that's what we are doing today and what we want to make sure to do for all of you. And I know that you have to serve your community, so the best thing we can do is take care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. Mm-hmm. So to start off, I'd like to start in prayer. And I felt like this scripture was very appropriate today, Galatians 5:13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. I've also added a slide there of a family and that very famous quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you would just bow your heads for a moment and give grace and thanks and gratefulness to what we do have, the fact that we're all here together, that we are gathering in God's name to be able to present a weekly webinar, a support system for all of our community members, but more importantly, that we're all here together to lift each other up and to make sure that each one of us has perseverance and resilience, because together we go far. Thank you for this moment to share. Thank you for allowing us all to feel vulnerable in this moment and to ask for help in any way that we need it. We are here for you, and we know that you are here for us. Thank you, God. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. At this time, what I'd like to do is pass the baton over to Carol Lippert, our fearless leader, who has helped us to really put these webinars, daily tips into action. And everything that you're going to hear today is provided to you by this amazing support that we feel every day to be able to pivot on a dime and bring to you what we feel is really important for all of us, for our health, well-being, and safety. And let us give grace and thanks for our health and well-being, because those of us who are online right now, we do thank the Lord for that. Carol, if you'd like to take over now and have a little word, that would be great.
Yeah, so once again, thank you everybody for joining us today. We are so glad that, one, that you got word that it was happening. We were trying to push it out really fast yesterday and again this morning. So please, we ask, share this resource with anyone that you know that could use a little bit of just time to be together, to share ideas, to share best practices, to support one another as we all sort of navigate this uncharted territory. So yeah, Corey, I love the picture that you showed there. You all are definitely doing that, right? We're coming together right now to just support each other and find ways to get through this together. So know that Canyon Professional Development, K-12 Educational Development out of GCU stands ready to support you in any way that we possibly can. We're super easy to get a hold of, so all of our contact information will be contained within this presentation. So if you need anything, or as we move forward week by week, if there are topics or issues that are coming up, feel free to reach out and let us know. We'll be happy to address those in these weekly webinars or via the daily tips that we'll be sending out through our Twitter. So again, just keep it a two-way conversation. We want to be here to support you, and we can only do that if we know what support you need. So thanks so much, Corey, for the introduction. I'll hand it over to Marnie, who will continue with our presentation today. Thanks.
Thank you, Carol.
So hi, I'm Marnie Landry, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty lost right now. And I want you to know you're not alone if you are also feeling lost. I have spent the last several days on social media, all platforms, every waking moment, and teachers across our nation are feeling this. They are reaching out, and they're really creating some new dynamic communities that I haven't seen exist before, which is brings me a lot of hope. So if you're unsure how to handle this, if you're unsure how to continue being a teacher, if that's truly your identity, if you feel like you're not, you don't have leadership right now, just know that you're not alone, and that's why we are here. We are here to walk alongside you and help not only guide you, but also learn from you, learn from your experiences, and try to help you get through this, and for you to help us get through this as well. So I'm just going to go over a few places where you can find us and resources that we will be populating as we go forward. So first of all, our webpage. So go ahead, Corey, and click that. Yep. Our webpage is, oops. Okay, we're out of order here. So we're on our Twitter site. Let's start there. So Corey and I and our team are very active on social media. And you can find us at GCU_SEA. You could find our first tip of the day posted early this morning by Corey. So we will try to get tip of the day out almost every day. We'll see how things go. And my account, I personally retweet this. Carol retweets this. So this will be a place where you'll be able to find links to those tips of the day, links to our webinars, that like the one we're putting on right now, and then also links to other resources that we will send out for your use. When you do have access to this presentation, all of these links are live, so you can just click like the picture that's right there of our team, that you can click on, and it'll take you right to our Twitter page.
There it is.
Thank you. And
so there's the daily tip. There's the daily tip here, and then our webinar there. So that goes right to our Facebook page.
And I'm putting the link to our Twitter right in the chat box right now.
And that is accessible. That's my home Twitter actually, but that link that Marnie just put in the chat box goes straight to our Twitter page. There's the Facebook.
And also with all of these links, they are two-way. It's not just us putting things out there for you. You can communicate directly with us and very quickly through all of these avenues. Our Facebook page, so that link is there, facebook.com/sea.gcu. And again, that picture will go directly to our Facebook page. Our tip of the days and our webinar announcements will also be on this page. I've also put the link to our Facebook page in the chat box, so you can save that. Go ahead, Corey.
Okay.
I was just showing that.
Sorry about that.
The webinar was right there on our Facebook feed, so it's ready to go.
Oh, right on. Yep, there's the webinar. So there's that, and so you're ready to click on that. So if you forget to go to your email to check it, you can always check it on Facebook or Twitter. It'll be right there.
Yeah, and you can communicate two-way with us. We're all on this.
There's our webpage.
Yeah. And so our webpage, and the link is already in the chat box directly to our webpage. The picture is live, a live link as well. I don't believe it's updated yet, but there will be a link to our YouTube channel and a link to get to our weekly Wednesday webinars from this page.
It's not quite live yet, but it's coming soon for Canyon PD page.
Okay.
And then
finally, our brand new YouTube channel. And again, this picture links directly to our new channel. Woo!
Yeah.
Our first tip of the day will be uploaded to there probably by the end of the day. And then these webinars will also be housed on this YouTube channel as well.
There you go. So lots of places where you can get in touch, where you can access archived materials that you are welcome to use with any of your schools. We will have experts joining the weekly webinars from our College of Education, from experts from Canyon Professional Development, but also K-12 development, and experts from Grand Canyon that are really willing to give you some excellent tips and tricks and content along the way without overwhelming you. Go ahead, Marnie. Or no, is that it?
No, I just want to add to what you were saying there. I like how you said to not overwhelm you. We currently have thousands of resources at our fingertips, and we want to make sure that everything that we pass on to you is in the moment and usable, user-friendly, and we know that it works. So we will be, when we share those resources with you, we'll be making sure that we know that they will work for you immediately.
We'll absolutely curate content based on not only our relationship that we've built with you over the time, but there will be some content that might be specific to Christian school educators, private school educators, charter school educators, public school educators, and those will probably be funneled out through your Alliance director and also at these channels. But absolutely, thank you, Marnie, for making that clear. How many, there's a Facebook COVID-19 group, and it's got how many resources? Something like 80,000 or something like that? Well,
it went from 4,000 members to 40,000 members in one day. And I've been pulling all the resources off of that, and I have more than 500 different links to resources at this point right now, just from that one site.
Which is pretty fascinating, the power of the internet, to really just look at that, how many people are gathering together to help one another. And it is absolutely amazing and interesting, but also can be very overwhelming, which may actually increase our anxiety a bit. So with that said, Marnie, if you have something else, I'm going to move into the next slide.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So really what we want to think about is how we handle ourselves, how we handle our students, how we handle our children, because our fears and anxious behaviors will absolutely bleed out into what our small environments are. And right now, okay, so we're self-contained, we're in social distancing, and as you can see, well, Marnie and I are coming, all three of us are coming from our homes. We are in this with you. We are not able to be around people either. So we have two different situations here. One is, how do we connect online? What's our perception of that online connection to our immediate family? So when you get stressed out, your children will feel stressed out, right? And that we want to make sure that that stress is handled. And I said it earlier, we want to make sure that we take care of ourselves first so that we can be fully present for our loved ones. That old airplane analogy where you put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then you help the child next to you, that's where we want to be right now. And I think that's kind of where we are in many ways, but we want to recognize what strengths we have in our community right now. So the first strength is all of us together, banding together, and as we just said, we want to curate information for you in a non-threatening, non-overwhelming manner. And my first tip is limit your daily news and social media content. Sure, we'd love for you to go out to our social media piece. We're going to have that daily tip up by 8 o'clock. That's my intention. Of course, today didn't happen because of some technology issues, but my intention is to get that daily tip out early. However, limited after that. You don't need to check the news 100 times because that'll bring more anxiety to think about it. And ultimately, a lot of social media, if you've heard about the toilet paper scare, you're not alone. It's kind of interesting how many people have stocked up on toilet paper. I went to the store yesterday. There are no potatoes. There are very few canned goods. It's very eerie. And everyone I've talked to has said the same thing. This is a very strange time. But I think a lot of that is built upon fear and anxiety of the whole, and that whole is a part of social media. That it plays a part. So I hope that can be your first tip: is limit your intake. Recognize your strengths, know who your people are, know that your spouse, your loved ones, on, you can text, you don't have to Instagram everything, for example, but they're there to support you as well. And we are here to support you. So start thinking, what is it that you need? And feel free, if it comes to you, what I'd really like is this, please type it in the chat. Carol is following that chat and we're curating all of this information. So we'd love for you to just tell us what you need. So what you have is you have relationships. You have this experience with relationship. You have experience in regards to the relationship you have with us. And we will be curating content. By the way, Carolyn is here and she's our newest member and really focuses in on the educational development of our K6 to K8 environment. And she's got a lot of great skill sets that she's bringing with her to our GCU family. It's an interesting time to get started with a brand new job, isn't it, Carolyn? Kind of strange, but here we are. What's wonderful about Carolyn is she has great experience in delivering webinars. She's been across the country recently delivering content in person and on the web. So you've got a great team in front of you, from STEM development, spiritual development, emotional development, and academic development. And that's really what we want to focus on today, is to let you know that we are here to support you academically, emotionally, and spiritually. You have people on this chat right now that will pray with you, that will be with you in your time of need. Any one of us. Greg is here, Ryan is here, Dan is here. All three of those gentlemen are absolutely willing to pray with you and be with you through your spiritual journey and your academic piece. Carolyn, Marnie, myself, Carol, we have such experience in this area, and we are going to bring that relationship to you in whatever way that you need it. Focally, we've got homeschool, we've got Lee Critchley, who is all about our outreach in situations like the YMCA, right? The community outreach. How are we going to get food boxes to individuals that need them? We are here to support you emotionally. So let's just take advantage of that relationship. So how can we connect with students where we are in our home area? Zoom is a great way to connect. There are free, you can have a free account in Zoom. If you need us to come alongside of you to help you have a conversation, a chat with your students, we are absolutely here and ready to do that. Google Classroom is a great way to do that. I'm gonna jump out here just a second to see if my other tips are here. It's in the, I think they are. Yes, down here in my, we've got all kinds of academic content places where you can go, and we'll have this in another slide. I didn't want to overwhelm you too much, but you can make posters and infographics using Canva. I'm going to talk a little bit about Flipgrid, Quizlet, which is if you want to give your students just a little quiz. There's some curation sites called ThingLink, so your students can create some curation for different content areas. There's videos using WeVideo. You can illustrate using Google Drawings. You can take a quiz. There's an exam place to create exams using GoFormative And then literally anything you can take a picture of, you can upload that and annotate it and utilize that. So even if kids don't have the technology, we can try to help them with that if you can connect with them one way or another. So I'm going to bring back over here to this slide about Flipgrid. This is such an interesting place to go. If you don't know Flipgrid, you can create a free educator login here, and there's so much benefit in having this area where students just upload a video and you can comment on each other's videos. So if you're a teacher watching this right now and you haven't checked out Flipgrid, I would highly recommend you go on, get yourself a login, record a quick video, and then allow your students to comment on that video. I can show you a quick example of that in a follow-up video. Today, we don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of stuff. We just want to let you know that we're here to serve you. So that's what Flipgrid looks like. But ultimately, I think it's a really good idea to connect using a face-to-face situation, whether that's Flipgrid or Zoom. Allow kids to know that there's a real live person behind that screen. When you're in Zoom, one of the good tips is to use your video camera. I know it feels a little strange at times, but and it might, maybe you're not primed up and don't want to see that other side, but I have to tell you, kids need to see you. They need to hear your voice. They need to feel your presence as much as they can without that 3D world where you can actually wrap your arms around them and give them a hug, right? That's not possible right now, so we need to be really clear on that. Marnie, jump in.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, I'm a very content conscious teacher. So important to remember right now that content really isn't that important. I'm sorry if you're, but it's really the relationship. It's in maintaining that relationship with your students, and getting to see you is a great way to actually speak in real time is a great way to do that. And so that's really why we put Flipgrid and Zoom up here, because they're free, they're easy, and it's a really good way to maintain that personable relationship with students. The content will be there, the content will come, we'll catch up, we'll all pass our tests. That's not the issue. And on a side note, a teacher the other day was posting online who had never used Zoom before. She said, tip, put a wall or something behind you so a family member in underwear doesn't come in looking for their laundry. So that's just one tip, and my dogs luckily aren't running around underneath me right now, but there's a learning curve.
Yes,
which is okay.
Absolutely. So true. And I love it because those are the moments that they'll remember, like, oh yeah, this is a real person with a real husband who has real underwear. I'm not quite sure I want that to be out there on social media, and watch it because it will be out there on social media if he does that. So I always like to give my family, as they walk by, they see me online, and I'll go, so they'll know by the look, that mom look of, oh boy, I'll be in trouble if I open my mouth right now. So we do like to laugh. Yeah, and it's okay, and everyone has a lot of grace when it comes to that. But that relationship is so important. And if you noticed in the chat this morning, I was welcoming you and saying hello, and really wanting you to say, you can use the chat too, and ask your students to use it. Just say hello, something in the chat. You don't have to unmute yourself if you're uncomfortable, but let me know that you're there, because you matter. And I think that's really the important piece. See, there's the other phone going off. So I just want you to know that technology has its ups and its downs, and everyone goes through them together. So thank you, Marnie. Is there anything else you want to talk about relationship-wise?
No, that's okay.
Very cool. Really good. And she's right. The content will come. And I went back to that slide to show you all those. There were like 7 pieces right there. And quite frankly, the content is not important right now. It will be, because this is going to be longer than we think it, obviously what we think what will happen, but it's not as important as we might think it is, especially right now. So here we have it. So let's talk a little bit about how we can move forward with how we feel, because emotionally right now, as Marnie mentioned, I'm feeling the absolute same way. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling anxious a little bit, and I'm feeling like, how do I best support the people who need me most? And one of the pieces that really has helped me recently is an app called Headspace, and there's some free content here as well. I'm going to click on it so that you all can go out and look and see what it looks like. Hopefully you can hear me all right. So Headspace is a mindfulness and meditation web app. It's also an app on your iPhone or your Android device. You can download the app and you kind of bring it anywhere with you. What I find very fascinating about Headspace is that it's a way in which we can commune in our stillness with God, with individuals who, just with ourselves. That is all I want to say. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here. Headspace to me is a place where I can go and be supported by spirit. So it's a mindfulness and self-awareness type of app. I'm going to come down here for just a moment, and I want you all to experience for just a minute what I think is really exciting about Headspace. So if you click on basics, and you're welcome to click on this with me, down here, techniques, this is just, how are you doing? So ironically, my phone started ringing. My husband's phone's ringing. I'm hearing things upstairs. I'm just kind of discombobulated right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this body scan. I want you guys to listen to this. It's real quick.
Corey, is there audio?
Yep. Can you not hear the audio?
No, we don't have the audio. That doesn't come through on our end.
All right. So I'm going to pop this in the chat. Kind of ironic, it doesn't have audio right now because it's kind of an alone style piece. But in the chat, I just popped in the chat, the Headspace app, and I will kind of walk you through it a little bit. Essentially, it's a 1 minute, 19-second piece that asks you to separate your body and your mind for a moment and feel how you're feeling. And it's okay, however you're feeling, right? So like I just told you, I'm feeling a little anxious. Once I start to breathe it out and slow down my breath and really scan how I'm feeling from the tips of my toes all the way up to the top of my head, if I take that minute to just feel how I'm feeling and realize that these are feelings and thoughts that are coming in and moving aside, moving along, and I have the ability to notice them and let them go. And I think that's the challenging part about these times of anxiety, is being able to listen and then let go. So I put it in the chat. You're welcome to look at that. Maybe you want to look at that right after this webinar. Unfortunately, that audio didn't play through Zoom, and we'll troubleshoot those issues as they come available to us. Heading back on over to the presentation, I just want you to know that that particular web app is one that really has allowed me to calm down and then be fully present for my students. And then a healthy distraction. Marnie, if you want to talk about the Kennedy Center here.
Oh, it's just really neat. Mo Willems is the resident. He's the artist in resident at the Kennedy Center, and he just started it, 2 days ago, Lunch Doodles with Mo Willems. And so they're just across the board. People are artists, musicians, creative people are popping up online just to help you explore your creative side, to kind of get away from whatever's going on right now. So,
okay, and that video is like 27 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
It's actually like a doodling session during your lunch. So there's just a lot of those out there, and I really like him. So
he just kind of uses art to distract. And this is a really neat concept for your students to be able to truly take their feelings and thoughts and put them right on paper. So,
and he's for education outreach too. So it's not just like fancy pants artist. He's out there to support us and our students.
Okay, so you can kind of see some of the work some of the doodles that he's showing here. And so those are two different options that you can use to just kind of calm yourself and your students. And I love teaching students about mindfulness, awareness, and we talk about prayer all the time. And sometimes students have a hard time knowing really what that is, as it pertains to calming themselves down. So Headspace might be an option for you. I want to really emphasize right now that, and we talked about it earlier, content is second to relationships. And today we want to really focus on relationships and why they are so important to all of us. And sometimes we might start to feel like, oh my gosh, if my students don't get this content, where are we going to make this up? Are they going to fail the state exam, for example? Are they not going to be at the place they need to be? Marnie had earlier through Ryan Brado, so thank you, Ryan. He had talked about a school in, was it Georgia, Ryan? I think it was a school in Georgia. It's called Mount Paran. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, just Atlanta area, Mount Perrin.
Mount Paran, thank you. Thanks, Ryan. I was waiting for the right pronunciation. But Ryan sent us this, which is fantastic, because ultimately, if you look down, if you scroll down here, you can see that they have all from Facebook. They are kicking into gear online. And Ryan, since you're on the call and you kind of looked at this first, you're welcome to talk a little bit about it if you would like to.
Yeah, simply just pass it along as an example. I know for many schools, they're looking for just practical things to adapt from. I thought this was a helpful resource simply because they represent pre-K all the way through 12. So whether you're running preschool, early learning center, day school, middle school, high school, I thought their template was simple, adaptable, user-friendly, and so forth. So again, there's a million different examples that we could share, but conceptually, I found this one to be pretty helpful, and a good blend of both video and content. Like Marnie said, how do you maintain the relational piece while at the same time delivering some sort of structure? So again, just one of many resources to consider.
And I appreciate that, Ryan, and what you said was absolutely on point. Structure. We have to really remember to keep structure alive for our students as they navigate this. Not just our students, but our community, our parents, our congregations. Truly, they need that structure. So this is a great example of structure, where right on their website they've got information, and then this virtual learning, they've got this hashtag virtual learning. So what I really think is great is there's so much virtual learning happening. And if you took out the hashtag MPCS, you're going to see a lot more virtual learning. But they're, again, really a great example of a school who has stepped up into the digital space to this level. So thank you for that, Ryan. And ultimately, these are our relationships, and we're helping each other. So I really want to focus on the fact that it's always a lesson. Everything we're dealing with right now is not a failure. It is a lesson. We want to make sure that we're not focusing on attacking each other for what we haven't done, but lifting each other up for what we have done and what we will do. And as we navigate these muddy waters, all we can do is really profess, but beyond profession, we need to be love at its core. Galatians 5:13, humbly in love. And I really find that the more we recognize that we have to lift each other up, the more that students will feel never like a failure, but always learning an important lesson. So some of those topics that we've already started to plan. Scheduling at home learning, and we use Google Classroom a lot. It's free and we think it's very easy. So we'll be using Google Classroom, where we'll show you how to use Google Classroom. Tools for online instruction. These are topics that we'll bring to you. I mentioned a couple of them today, from Canva to Google Drawings, for example. But we'll also talk a little bit about the biology of viruses. We'll bring together some anxiety and depression that can occur from too much social media use that's happening among our students right now, even prior to the coronavirus, and also just the biology and the STEM that is present in all of this. So as Marnie and I come to you as STEM experts, we want you to know that science, technology, engineering, and math is everywhere, not just in the coronavirus per se, but also we're going to talk about how we can learn science at home. We're going to talk about how we can utilize technology and the best technology tools to maintain the structure and the elements of school that need to be maintained so that kids feel loved, so they feel spiritually supported, so they feel emotionally supported, and so they feel academically supported. We're going to look at engineering. How do we engineer a new way to teach and to learn utilizing digital services, and also practicing social distancing? And finally, we're going to have to use math because math is everywhere. And we'll be using those structures to teach math. For example, we're going to be home cooking a lot, and we're going to have to be saving, the food that we have and being grateful for those. So there's a lot of mathematical lessons in those. So Marty and I will come to you as STEM experts and accentuate those pieces as we go through. What topics do you want?
Let me
Yes.
just jump in for 1 second.
Yeah.
Jennifer jumped in with just any advice that we might have for students that don't have reliable internet connection. Great question. Lots of that problem in Arizona for sure.
And yeah, I was going to end with equity. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for asking that question, because it is, and that will be a topic that we will bring to you, because Marnie and I have been discussing this and talking about exactly that, like not just internet and digital tools, but food, shelter. I mean, we know that our Title I students get food from school, and if they're not going to be able to get to school, then how do we as a church community, our church communities, how do we get together, get what they need, and then have safe drop-off zones for this type of thing? So thank you, Jennifer, for bringing it up. Right now, I will tell you what I know. Cox Communications is giving free internet to anyone who did not previously have free internet. So these opportunities are going to be available through the Cox website, but also through schools. So I think the best way I could say right now is to go directly through your school channels. So the leadership at schools, and Jennifer, if you happen to know of particular leaders that are working this angle, feel free to add that in the chat or to pop on and have it and let us know what you know. But ultimately, what I can tell you I know is that we have a plethora of online services that are free, but they do have to get online. Public libraries, as we know, are closed. So at this point, all I know is that if you can get a device, great. I think that school districts are working to try to get students devices depending on the district that you represent. And I will turn it over to anyone else who has more information about it.
The only other thing that I know for sure is AT&T internet is now unlimited data. So if people have phones, and that Cox has, I think it's like more than 1,600 free Wi-Fi hotspots around now that you can connect to. So those are things that I know.
Thank you, Marnie. And we'll bring that to you, Jennifer, great topic. So we'll add that to our list of topics of how to really increase equity during this time.
I did have now it wasn't in light of what's going on right now, but I did have a teacher say that they wanted to have devices for everyone, so that they asked their parents in their community if anybody had old cell phones they weren't using, and they donated, and she got a classroom set of old cell phones that were wiped clean, but they could still access Wi-Fi. So if you have your community, you put the call out, anybody have old cell phones they're not using, wipe them clean, and then at least, we can distribute those as devices for students just to access free wireless in places.
Great advice. And then Ryan and Peter and Greg, I'm sure are working with their Christian communities to find out what those services are being offered through our Christian communities. And if you all have anything, feel free to share. But we will curate some information and get that to you as soon as we know it. So beyond that, thank you. Are there any more questions in the chat, Carol, that I am not looking at?
Or if anybody wants to unmute themselves to tell us what other topics you want us to work, what kind of tools do you need? We have them. we just don't want to overwhelm you. We need to know what you tell us what you need. We can get it to you.
Absolutely. And so we'll, as you're thinking and processing, we just want you to know that we are going to bring to you information that is simple to use. We're not going to put too much information into any of these webinars, but we'll give you some links so that you can follow those links that you feel are very important. Another piece I'd like to mention is that we work with a lot of online schools that are purely online. So we have some experts that will be joining us to talk about what are those good tips and tricks about teaching online and having that voice on the other side. We talked a little bit about that this morning. It's really important to save that relationship piece. And any sort of topic from leadership standpoint, Carol's curating information right now as a former principal, Arizona Department of Education employee, just working hard with the leadership here at Grand Canyon University to bring you leadership pieces for superintendents and principals. Marnie and I will really focus on, and Carolyn, we will focus on the audience of teachers and parents and those who are really trying to get content and stability and structure to our communities. And we have a plethora of operations support staff, Shonda and Sarah, who are on right now, who are willing and able to bring some parent view information for parents specifically, but also how do you run a business from home? How do you do that? How do you get support? And we have operations experts standing by to help in that area as well. Lee Critchley and Sheila Jones working with homeschool and community outreach outreach areas to provide service where they can. We have an amazing team here under the leadership of Dr. Tacey Ashby, and we are just ready to support, to hold your hand as much as you need it, to walk alongside you in this journey, and to truly let you know that we are here to serve you humbly in love. And we appreciate that you're here to support us and serve us humbly in love. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of school cancellations, business cancellations, public libraries. I mean, life seems to be canceled in so many ways, but I'll tell you what's not canceled. That's our resilience and our perseverance, because together we will go far. And alone, well, we'll only go fast. And right now, I don't think we're going fast alone at all. So I appreciate the time today. If there are any questions in the chat, Carol, if you want to let us know where we are there so we can address any questions, or if anyone wants to say anything, feel free to unmute yourself and let us know how you're feeling. We can just be here for some social support as well.
I think just to clarify, so this was our initial webinar. It was kind of designed to let you know where we're coming from and the types of supports that we're able to provide. And so as you begin to offer us topics, we will make sure that those are the topics that we cover in future webinars. So for example, there was one request to really kind of get more nitty-gritty about how do we, as teachers, as educators, authentically engage our students in an online environment. So yeah, we can go specifically delve deep into some of those tools for you. Today was designed to really just sort of introduce ourselves to you, to let you know that we're here and we can support you, and to gather information about what you need. So super grateful. We ended up with 27 participants. I don't think that's bad for, you know, putting out some word yesterday. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, nice to see everyone. And we'll use those daily tips and techniques, daily tips that are coming out via Twitter to get you some specific information, and then also these weekly webinars. But I put in the chat too, you know, if you really, I think Corey mentioned, if you have leader specific needs, or if you have parent specific needs, please let us know, and we'll make sure that we're starting to curate resources for those areas.
Thank you, Carol. I really appreciate that. And we have about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. So I want to respect everyone's time. And I also want you to just have some time. We're here for the next 10 minutes. I'd like to close in prayer. However, I would ask if Ryan and Dan and Greg, if Peter, if you're on, if you guys would just and Jennifer, if you guys want to hang out for a little while until 10 o'clock, I'm sorry, until 11 o'clock, I'm an hour behind. That would be great in case anyone wants to chat with you. For example, if they just need prayer and they want to pray with any of us, we are here. We are here for you in your time of need. If it's just you just want to talk and you don't want to talk in front of 27 other people, I completely understand. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and say thank you. I'm going to go back to this and just let you know these are our planned topics, but we'd love to hear from you. What more topics would you like? And the next webinar we'll have is going to be more specific, probably to online learning. So we'll really get nitty gritty into that on our next topic, and we'll start to plan out what kinds of experts we'll bring on board and really get you some specifics. This slideshow presentation is available, and all those links are available right after we're finished, as Carol has recorded this, and we'll upload it to our YouTube channel, as well as Twitter and Facebook channels. We are ready to step outside with you, so we're going to make this leap together, as we will go far together. And let's go ahead and close in prayer. And again, I'm just going to remind us all of that scripture. I just felt it was exactly what we needed to hear today. Galatians 5:13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. Dear God, thank you for this time to gather today, to be a part of an unprecedented situation, but to be grateful to come together, all of your children, loving, knowing that you are here to protect us, knowing that you have, in your divine light, brought forth everything that we need, and knowing that everything we need will be granted to us as we ask for it today in prayer, and we give gratitude for it. We know your good deeds and your good words will help to uplift us in our emotional, academic, and spiritual support. And we thank you for Kenyon Professional Development, K-12 Development, and all of our team, those that I missed saying today. I love you all so much, and I thank you for being a part of this team that allows us to go forward in love and serve one another. Thank you for our leadership, President Mueller, Dr. Tacey Ashby, Carol Lippert, and all of the leaders that are working together to make sure that we are supported from both sides, from the top down and the bottom up. And we thank you. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for joining us. Please stick around for a little while longer if you would like to have some support directly one-on-one. Every one of us has a cell phone. We are happy to call you, text you. We are happy to provide that information for you. I missed mentioning our fearless Bethany Huffman as well, who was protecting our younger students. She is in charge of Thunder Vision, and I want to make sure Bethany knows that all that she does for our young children is so important, and she is loved. I tried to make sure that every one of our team members were mentioned, but I want you all to know that I love you dearly, and I thank you all for your support and the support that you've given our community. So with that, I think we'll just hang out until, like, we've got 5 minutes left. We can hang out. This can be less formal, and just in case anybody needs some extra support and would like
Sorry, was
anything.
there a survey link for them to provide feedback? If not, they can just email us.
We'll support, Marnie, do you have it?
It's down at the bottom, last slide.
Sorry. Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
So sorry. I got excited. I got excited to end right there. Yes, and my colleagues know that surveys are not my strong point. Sorry, Shonda. But there's our survey, so you can provide us just your feedback. It's bit.ly/Canyon PD webinar. If you would like to give us some feedback on how we did on our first try, but mostly not about that. It's just about how we can serve and support you. I'd also like to just let you know that we're here if you need anything. And Carol, if you'd like to talk about what else we are able to provide, I think it's just probably a good idea to hang out and let people, if they need to talk to us, we're here.
Yeah, and I put your contacts for all the different types of alliances in the chat, so you would know who to reach out to. But of course, you can get everyone via our inbox, which is canyonpropdev@gcu.edu. So just reach out if you need anything. Take the survey, let us know what other topics you want. We'll be looking carefully at that as we develop future webinars.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Okay, people are logging in, it looks like.
Okay.
All right. Thanks you guys for being a part of today's webinar, and we're going to work to put some more content for you together. And any of you who are needing prayer, I do believe that there's a GCU chapel happening at 11 o'clock. So I want to make sure to honor your time if you're a part of our community to hear some messages, some uplifting messages from I think it's GCE, James Miller, Pastor James Miller will be available at 11 o'clock via Zoom.
I think you want to end recording?
Yep, I will end the recording now. Thank you.